Qatar Foundation is providing Qatar the power to attract future businesses, providing a hub of focused energy through research and development, empowering a great future for a great nation.
QSTP is a great idea that came about to support all the research activities within Education City. This great institution that has joined us to do programs, academic programs. The idea of bringing GE to QSTP started when Qatar Airways signed an agreement with GE for training or establishing a training centers for aircraft engine maintenance and engineering.
QSTP is an organization started by Her Highness, and it has three very important missions. The first one is to be the Center for Applied Technology. The second one is to create capacity in the country, to bring young Qatari students who have studied science and engineering and business into a world where they can apply their knowledge in a way which will have a significant impact in the future of this country. The third is to create new technology companies in Qatar.
We understood that the success of this education program is really dependent on the research quality that they will develop. So there isn't really a successful academic program without the element of research to it. The Science and Technology Park was created really to host all the technology-based companies, great companies that has already relationship to these great institutions. And usually there is an integration between these companies' activities in terms of research and development and the universities.
Qatar Science and Technology Park is the base for these companies to come and operate next door to worldwide universities. This fact gives a great opportunity to utilize the power of great programs in a diversified academic atmosphere and research centers for the best of this nation, the world science and humanity. GE is part of this great vision, setting the pace for high-end engineering and training centers to start and work from Qatar.
When I look at a science park, particularly one that's where the government is committed to doing it the right way, I think it's great for us to be shoulder to shoulder with some of the education investments that have been made there, with some of our colleague companies around the world, like the one we're doing with ConocoPhillips and water technology. And we always like to be close to schools because we could recruit, we can do joint funding of educational or technology programs. And so I think that's the benefit that a science park really gives us.
Bringing GE is very much like bringing perhaps the other 30 companies we have. GE is a major global player in energy and the environment, and they play a significant role in bringing practical experience and the needs to meet those practical challenges in a way which is both professional and commercial. And we need that balance. So GE brings its worldwide experience, its range of products and its capability, and it gives us a chance to build on that.
Qatar Foundation is developing an education city focusing on major lines in the sphere of research development and education programs, the area of energy, environment, healthcare, information technology, and telecom.
When we were asked to design the facility, we looked at the value systems and the goals and objectives of the Qatar Foundation, as well as we looked at the goals and objectives of GE and their value system. What we learned was both marry very well. Both are aligned very well in creating, in imagination, in teaching, in learning. With those systems, it gave us a lot of tools and a lot of aspects of the building that we could work from to imagine and solve and build and lead. Those become the core principles for us in our design.
GE has evaluated different locations within the Middle East and found that QSTP could be the best location for them for so many reasons, being very close to the organization that they have signed with, which is Qatar Airways, being close to other universities and programs and engineering and so forth that can help in the programs that they are going to develop, and the central location of Qatar here. So they have chosen to do their three-continent training center in the QSTP with the great facilities that QSTP is providing, state-of-the-art actually, that can accommodate all their requirements. Plus that they have shown interest in research also, which is the main purpose of QSTP. R&D is really our focal point in establishing QSTP. So GE is also interested in doing some desalination research and water quality research.
When we first started the concept design of this building, what we wanted to do is to provide a unique architecture, but at the same time, we wanted it to blend within Qatar Science and Technology Park. In order to do so, we chose to use the veil concept and extend it to our building in here, and also to use the perforated cladding concept that was on the other buildings at QSTP. But the unique feature of the GE building here is the lecture hall that you see behind me, which is the sphere. In fact, that lecture hall, we decided to have it as a sphere to represent the pearl which is the history of Qatar. And we had it directed in a shell towards the heart of QSTP.
The future can only be built on solid ground. Qatar Foundation is setting the foundation today for a promising future, which would bring not only great buildings and jobs to people in this country, but also create new visions and industries for the future.
The design of the building gave us several challenges. GE has at the time, six business units that wanted to train and operate out of the facility. We also looked at the heritage of Qatar. We looked at what was important and what was in the values and the vision of the Qatar Foundation. In doing so, it became very obvious and very apparent that the pearling industry was very deep into the heritage of Qatar. Using the pearl as our gemstone and as our focus of energy within the building, we started to create the inspiration for the design of the building itself.
Much like a pearl inside a shell, the GE building embraces the pearl shape in its design. This is the idea through imagination, which is one of GE's guiding principles. So using the pearl as a gemstone, the designer made it clear as the innovation aspect of the building.
We created three concepts. The first one being continuum. Continuum would be more using the architecture of QSTP and incorporating the features, the aspects, the design components and criteria into that facility. Continuum also, we looked at balance and symmetry in order to create something a building that would complement the QSTP architecture, but not be radically different. We then looked at collaboration. Collaboration as a concept takes the best that QF has and the best that GE has, combines them to raise the facility to something that is greater than both. Third concept is integration. Taking the QSTP architecture and applying or integrating the GE business units, facilities, and criteria into that. We felt like the collaboration became the overwhelming concept for the facility. The facility, using the pearl as the gemstone or the lecture hall for the facility, The facility is broken into 3 separate areas. The office area, and with some specialty labs, and the aviation area, the aviation school. Currently, the GE will train healthcare, aviation.
GE will bring 2 main areas to Qatar in the beginning. The first one is aero engines. GE is a world-class player in providing engines for airplanes, and they will have literally every single engine that's flying today in the air will be in QSTP for training, for modifications, for research and development. So that's one area, and this center will be the only one outside Cincinnati, which is the world headquarters of GE Aero Engines. So we are very proud that they've chosen to work with us in this country. The second area is healthcare. GE is building up a formidable reputation in healthcare, particularly in equipment and services. And we are very pleased that they will be working here. We already have a joint project in healthcare with GE, and that's to do with mammography. This is the identification of tumors for breast cancer.
Qatar Science and Technology Park provides success. Qatar Foundation is using innovative strategies and programs focusing on capacity building and character development, and also focusing on creativity, curiosity, conveying knowledge, and life skills, in order to conjure lifelong learners and integrate them in world-class companies and development entities.
We have a long working relationship with GE on previous projects, and we understand the requirements quite well. And we incorporated these requirements into the design of the building. For example, in the aviation facility, we understand very well how they handle the engines, and we provided all the crane systems in order to be able to move these engines and support them and suspend them for maintenance work. And all of these functionalities were incorporated into the buildings.
Added value comes from having a partner with whom you begin to work closely with, and you see eye to eye on many issues. And they bring their worldwide experience. They have lots of interesting projects from different parts of the world, and we'll enrich our own understanding from their experiences and perhaps not make the same mistakes they may have made in coming to the conclusions they have. So we are very excited in working with a major world player like GE.
Qatar Foundation had a dream, a vision of bringing the world to Qatar. This dream is coming true, and the vision a reality. World-class companies and international entities are knocking on the door and joining hands with Qatar Foundation to contribute in changing history and building the future of this great nation.